Hi guys, SwifTsYT here, and today I'm bringing another episode of my FIFA 17 Bournemouth Career Mode Series Season 1 episode number 13. Will also be later on in the video the Chicago Med Season 1 episode 1 review. Yeah, I know Chicago Med came out, like Season 1 came out a long time ago, it's already out on DVD and Blu-ray. Season 2 is pretty much over. I'm not sure how many episodes there are, but there's currently released 18 or 19 in Season 2 as well. So, I'm very far behind, but I thought, why not review it? So we'll get into that a little bit later. To start though, I will just quickly mention a few things. Right, if you remember the last episode, I mentioned that I simmed 2 international games, which was England v Portugal and England v Scotland. I didn't actually tell you the results and who scored in them games, like when I simmed it. In the first one, England v Portugal, Lallana and Barkley both scored in a 2-0 victory. And then in the second game, Sturridge got 2 and Lallana also got another one in a 3-0 victory over Scotland. And I also said at the end of the last video, I'm pretty sure, that this episode would be internationals, because that's, I checked the calendar and there was internationals there, and I was wrong. There wasn't internationals there because when I finished that Stoke game, I do remember not actually advancing. Like, it stayed on the screen where it said, I don't know, 4-0 or whatever we lost. Something preposterous. But I didn't actually press advance, and then I just turned my Xbox off or something. Like, well, it automatically turned off because I just left it there to die, basically. I didn't touch my controller after that. So, the game actually didn't save. So that means the England-Portugal game, the England-Scotland game, and that Stoke-Bournemouth game all didn't save. So instead of playing all of them and trying to get the same results, I decided to sim them all 3 of them games. And now they was all pretty much the same, except the Portugal game. So this time, it was England, or Klein, Pereira and Ronaldo scored for Portugal to win 2-1. So yes, we did lose 3 points against Portugal, which is unfortunate because they was quite far ahead. Like, I think that was 3 points. That was above us in the table, that's for sure. So that was unfortunate. But in the England-Scotland game, that stayed the same result in victory to loss, but it wasn't the same scoreline. So we still did beat them, but we only beat them 2-1. Sturridge and Lallana both still scored, but McCormack scored the third of the game instead of Sturridge getting a second. And for the Stoke game, I'm pretty sure we lost 4-0 originally. I simmed it and we still lost 2-0, which, I mean, I probably would have been mad if we won that game, because we clearly shouldn't have. So yeah, that was a bit annoying. It would have been annoying. So it was fortunate that we actually still ended up losing that game. Whelan and Bohan scored in their game that time. But as of the actual games in the background, game number 1, we are playing Arsenal. It's currently 2-1 to Arsenal. Started off very freaking strong. Harry Arter got our first goal with Jordan Ibe getting the assist. Talking of them players, let's get into the rest of the team news. We had Boric returning in goal after his red card suspension has been served. We had Daniels, Keane, Funes Mori and Bellerin in the defence, which is our normal defence currently. Gradle and Ibe on the wings. We did not have Antonio and Carrasco starting, but they was on the bench. They came on later on in the game. Harry Arter, like I've already said, was playing. Jack Wilshere was also playing in cam, and Callum Wilson and Mbappe were up top. So that was the team news for that. And I'm gonna get started on this review, I think. Seems out it literally covers up an entire side of A4 paper. Now I was thinking about this before I actually got it. I wrote down most of the review and was like, it's not actually a series, Chicago Med. It's a TV series, but it hasn't got a story plot to it. Most of it, it's just basically a normal show. So, like with Arrow, let's go with Flash actually. Season 2, let's go with that, since that was the last season. Season 3 is currently still on air. They went through the entire season of getting Barry up to speed to take on Zoom, and to finally beat Zoom in that finale. That's not something that's going to happen in Chicago Med. Like, they're not going to start treating one patient and keep that patient on until the finale. There has been a couple of occasions where one patient's been in multiple episodes or comes back in other episodes. So there's not really a constant patient, and in season 2 there's more of a constant patient, but that's less. It's not as constant as you would see most things. So basically, it's just an episodic show, just not a plot to it. It's just, so I don't think I'd be able to properly review it. But well, I'm not allowed to properly review anything anyway. I just go through exactly what happened. I basically just tell a story of what happened, which for some reason seems to make my videos go fast, just because I have nothing else to talk about other than that. So we'll get straight into it now. So like I said, Chicago Med, Season 1, Episode 1. This one was actually titled as Derailed, and you'll understand within a couple of points. Don't know how many points it takes to get there, but okay, we'll get off with it now. Right, we start off with Connor Rhodes, which is pretty good starting point to stop and talk about something else really quick. At one point in, and we're already getting sidetracked. Connor Rhodes, his actor is Colin Donnell. He played Tommy Merlin in the first season of Arrow. Came back occasionally in some flashback scenes. He was going to, I'm pretty sure he was asked to be in the Invasion crossover. He was in it as a hologram, but he didn't actually act in it. He was probably asked, but he obviously couldn't because of Chicago Med. I mean, they even put that line in it. Theo was talking to Malcolm about where's Tommy, and Malcolm said he was took up a job in Chicago as a doctor. So that was a brilliant touch by the DC lads. But anyway, Connor Rhodes. We start off with him just giving money to a street performer before he jumps on the train. Yeah, slowly linking, derailed train. You're getting there. Sharon Goodwin. Basically, what this first episode's going to be is basically meeting all the characters. Sharon Goodwin, she is the not so much the CEO of the hospital, but she is the main. But like, I think she's the manager of that certain part of the hospital. So she opens at Chicago Med, and the train gets derailed, like I already mentioned. 3 points in, and we're already there. Because Connor is actually a doctor, but hasn't got a job yet because he was disappeared for some time. He goes mental and goes hero mode. How the strings have changed. It was his best friend Oliver who was the hero in Arrow. Now it's him. He goes hero mode and starts to help everyone he can, see if they're fine along the train. He looks out the window. He tells someone to call 911, but that was already on it. Yes, I'm going to be saying 911 since it's an American show, unfortunately. RIP 999 for England. Anyway. Where was I? He sees the 2 train carriages being derailed, squashed the car and shit, so he's just like, yep, people are definitely going to get fucked. He doesn't say that, but he just knows. All the med staff who are standing outside the hospital whites getting introduced as a new medical facility. They all get paged, which is basically all the calls come in and they get notified of it, which is obvious, I suppose. And literally it just goes mental. There's just a load of calls coming in because there's a lot of injuries and issues with the train. Connor Rhodes, he plays doctor in the ambulance. Obviously he is a doctor, but he wasn't actually working, like I said. He starts to give. Okay, I didn't even read it. I tried to remember it off the top of my head, even though there's points written down. He takes over at the hospital as well, and he tells another doctor, Dr. Will Halstead, to back off. Basically, like, this is his patient. He's going to take care of him. Yeah, he doesn't work there, but he's a doctor, so he's going to fucking do it. You don't leave your patient, just like a sailor won't leave their ship. A captain, that's the one. A captain won't like to disband its ship when it's sinking. Something like that, basically. Well, I guess it is anyway. I wouldn't know, it's not a doctor. Where are we? He continues to care on that person anyway, Dr. Rhodes. Not actually currently technically a doctor based on that facility. 4th year med student Sarah Reese assists newly appointed Dr. Rhodes. There we go. That's when he gets appointed by Sharon. Oh, she must have been like, yeah, you're a decent lad. Let's sign you up. Talking of signing you up, this background game, Arsenal v Bournemouth, currently is 2-2. Second goal scorer was Graben, and Carrasco got the assist. Because the half-time substitutions was Carrasco for Gradle, Antonio for Ribe, Graben for Wilson. There we go. And aside from the review quickly, I will just keep quiet for a few seconds. And a quick little corner there, 1-2, I thought it was going to be offside, to be honest. Got deflected there, we bang back, gave it to Wilshere, smashes it, top corner in the 90th minute. I mean, Jack Wilshere in real life wasn't allowed to play this game because he is loaned. I mean, he's loaned anyway. So he shouldn't technically be playing, but for some reason FIFA allow it. I didn't think of it until he actually scored. I was like, okay, that's just mental. So we did actually beat Arsenal. Somehow, we've beaten Arsenal 3-2. In FIFA, that's a surprise. In real life, probably not so much. Because, talking of Arsenal in real life, the Walking Dead Season 7 Episode 3 review was a couple of days ago, and I mentioned that we was playing Crystal. I reviewed that yesterday, so Monday the 10th of April. I said that Arsenal played Crystal Palace on that day. We actually lost 3-0 to them. Don't have a fucking clue how. There was like 5th from bottom. We was 6th place. We should have easily won it, but we played absolutely atrocious. My TV fucked up. Couldn't watch the second half, so it was 1-0 at that point. It's because I switched it off, you see. It's not, but still, we're just shit. Can't wait till next season. I'm gonna predict us like 4th. No, I'll predict us 5th. We're not getting top 4 next season. Anyway, back to the review. And I've just completely lost track of where I was. Right here. Dr. Manning, her first name is Natalie. And April, which is a nurse. Why did I write so small? For fuck's sake, my eyes aren't that good anymore. They take care of a little girl called Rachel. Her mum comes in, but her dad's also in surgery somewhere else. So yeah, her dad doesn't actually show up until nearer to the end. Maggie's also a nurse. She's basically just a receptionist. It's not really so much a receptionist because there's a reception outside of the front door. There's front doors and then there's a second lot of front doors. The reception's between the doors, like the waiting area. There we go. That's it. And they're like the actual trauma side of things, receptionists. But yeah, I don't know. Maggie and April talk about helping Dr. Manning's baby because Natalie is actually pregnant. They decide about, yeah, by the way, you're not going to do this motherhood alone, because it doesn't come up until later in the episode about what happened to her husband, but I will just tell you now, things have links to this point. I mean, Dr. Rhodes asks if her husband was also a doctor here, but she says no, and it skips a bit later in the episode. It's she goes to a locker where all that shit is, obviously, hence what a locker is. Opens it and then she starts crying at a picture. You find out that her husband was a veteran in the US Navy, probably. I don't know what one he was actually in. He could have been any sort of army, but fucking hell, he's just as a veteran. He died like half a year ago, I believe it was. So that's not too fun. It can't be for her anyway. She's saving life, and she couldn't save his life because he wasn't there. It's probably eating away at her. I mean, it would eat away at anyone, wouldn't it? Another patient called Gina, she suffered a major head injury and her baby is currently fine. Dr. Halstead, however, is trying to take care of her, but Gina's pregnant with someone else's, someone else's baby, basically. I'm pretty sure everyone works, so I can't describe it really. Someone else's egg has gone inside her, and so she's basically holding someone else's baby for them, doing the process for them because they can't. Rachel, the little girl. Actually, I've just skipped half of this anyway. Yeah, I have Dr. Rhodes becomes badass and stitches himself up. Just perfectly stitches himself up. Like, he's actually insane. But currently, this is 2-0 currently. Yeah, we're 2-0 up over Liverpool, which I was quite surprised by. The goal scorer in there, where I was Callum Wilson and Antonio got the assist, and Mbappe with Wilshere an assist. Team moves for that game was exactly the same, I believe, besides Carrasco and Antonio came on for Gradle and I believe it was just in any way, so that's the only changes we made to that lineup. Back to the review. Dr. Choi confirms that Gina's baby is completely fine because they didn't really want to just take one word for it. They wanted to double check, triple check and all that shit just because you want to be sure. She still has her responses from her nerves, but she can't, she's just not going to wake up just yet because of the head incident. She's got some time to go. Psychiatrist Dr. Charles meets Dr. Rhodes for the first time whilst talking to Jamie, which is another person who has some lung problems, and if he doesn't get put on some machine sort of thing, he'll die, and he said he doesn't want to do that because he's had a good life. Dr. Halstead thinks that Connor Rhodes is an arrogant guy just because of what happened at the start of the episode. He was like, no, fuck you, this is my patient, house feed, fuck you, go over there, do someone else. I personally, as a viewer, after watching current up-to-date episodes, I think both the characters are fine, to be honest. But we'll get into season 2 in about 18 reviews in, and we'll be on episode 1 of season 2. 18 more besides this one. The 19th review overall will be season 2, episode 1. But anyway, back here. Dr. Rose talks to his Spanish patient, which is called, let me look further down, Jorge's. He talks to Jorge's, well, that's his patient. He talks to Jorge's girlfriend, which is called Mariana in Spanish, because somehow he's just a beast. Just because of the writing, obviously. I need to get through this quick since we've got like less than 4 minutes left. Shit. About what actually happened, the incident and shit like that, that gets her a bit upset. Gina's body is getting better, but her brain keeps getting more and more swelling. So she's gonna die if nothing gets taken out. But the people there for her was like, no, we want to keep the baby. If you do the thing, the baby might die. Rachel, the little girl, she loses pulse, and Dr. Charles breaks. No, why did I write Dr. Charles? It's not her. It's not him. Sorry. It's Dr. Reese who breaks her ribs whilst giving CPR. Cries after, and then Dr. Charles is like, yeah, but you saved her life. It doesn't matter if you broke her ribs. They'll all fix over time. If you didn't do that, she wouldn't have died. She would have died anyway. So Dr. Troy is a decent lad. He was also a veteran, but that doesn't come out for another episode. A couple of episodes. Don't know where it actually finally comes out. Jamie says he's fine to die because he's had a good life, but Dr. Charles, he's known him for ages. I was like, no, have more run, come on, one more for me. Maggie finds Jorge's, the Spanish geezer, his bag what came in from the accident. She also finds an engagement ring in the bag, and she gives that to Mariana. He's like, he was going to propose to you, you're not his girlfriend, you're his fiancée. I mean, technically, she wasn't, because she didn't say yes, but she's going to say yes anyway, innit? I just had like some breakdown in myself right there. I said the same thing twice in half a second. We did just concede there. Kind of disappointed. Like the ball didn't get thrown out to where I wanted it to, so we conceded. Dr. Howe said you can just tell that he doesn't like Dr. Rhodes. There's just from that one incident they don't like each other, or he don't like Rhodes. Not sure if it's reciprocated the other way. Jorge's goes code blue and dies from lack of oxygen to the brain, so Mariana just like tries until Goodwin and someone else talks to her for a bit. Dr. Househead can't save Gina because of the contract, but that's not fun either, is it? Doctor wants to save the patient, and one silly contract won't allow him to do it. Connor, so Dr. Rhodes, meets Natalie or Dr. Manning, and that's when they talk about the husband for a half a second before she runs off. Gina goes into surgery, but it goes successful. The baby will be fine as well. Dr. Charles meets Mariana, and she talks to her about the transplant of Jorge's lungs to Jamie. He gets Dr. Rose to translate, even though he can speak Spanish himself, so he does do that last little bit in Spanish by himself, so that's that. He's basically mugged off Connor, so that's fun. Mariana allows Jorge's lungs to be transplanted to Jamie. Dr. Reese struggles to find a patient's veins, and Natalie, I've already said that, I linked it earlier on. Dr. Rose and Dr. Charles are in a bar, and they both go back to the hospital for when Jamie wakes up, and everyone else is fine basically. Rachel wakes up and Gina wakes up, they're both fine. Maggie, April and Natalie is the final scene making a crib basically. That's the last point I wrote down anyway. Everyone else is fine. I only lost one patient in this episode, which is Jorge's. I sped through that last bit because we've only got half a minute left of the commentary. Currently 2-1 in this Liverpool game, and that is how it ends. So somehow we draw 2-2 to Manchester City, we draw 2-2 to Sunderland, we draw 0-0 everywhere. But in this one episode alone, we've beaten Arsenal at the Emirates 3-2, and we've beaten Liverpool at the Bournemouth Stadium. I can't remember what it's called, but 2-1. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you next time on the channel. Whatever review it might be, depends what I decide to watch. Thank you for watching, see you later and have a nice day.
Influenced the shape of the scoreline.
Yeah, he grimaces, he knows that was a big moment, if he could have found the target there.
And they've cut it out.